Grow, Sell, and Retire is a podcast for aspirational entrepreneurs and inspirational business owners who want to work less, earn more, and even more importantly, have an awesome time while doing it. Your host, BD Dalton, author of True Gravity, is here to give you the systems, processes, and actions for you to create the wealth that you've always dreamt about. Get your pencil, paper, and brain ready for secrets and top tips from his 25 years of experience in helping people build wealth. Here's your host, BD Dalton.
Hey everybody, BD Dalton here from Grow, Sell, and Retire podcast, Secrets for the Lazy Overachiever. This episode's called Too Fat to Go to the Gym. I've really been talking to a lot of people over the last couple of days, and actually the last couple of weeks and months. When I'm doing presentations, when I'm talking to them about making sure that they take their business to the next level in 2018, some of them say, you know what? When I get done with X, I'll definitely come back to you. When I get my team in order, I'll come back to you. When I do this, I'll come back to you. What a lazy excuse to make it so that they get to nowhere fast. And it really comes down to, and I've been going to the gym a lot lately, trying to get myself back in shape. And I think about all these people that do their New Year's resolutions. Can you think, when was the last time you did a New Year's resolution? Think about it. Sit down, write it down, and think, how long did you stick to your New Year's resolution? Some of you are amazing GSR listeners, Grow, Sell, and Retire listeners, and you actually stick to your New Year's resolutions. You turn them into life-changing things and not just resolutions. So, but when you actually look back on it, and the people that I talk to run successful businesses, they're amazing. They run software businesses, legal companies, accountancy firms, software, tech, everything else that's coming into it, manufacturing. And guess what? They say, you know what? I'd really like to work with you right now, but right now I've got to get my sales team in line. I've really got to get them trained up. I have to work on XYZ product. I have to go through all these things that don't make any sense. So I sit back and think, you know what? That's just like when people tell me, you know what? When I get a little bit skinnier, I'm going to go to the gym. That doesn't make any sense. At some point in time, you just have to put your foot down and say, you know what? I'm worth it. My business is worth it. My clients are worth it. My family time is worth it. And guess what? I'm going to start working on things right now. So you're at that stage where you've gotten to it and you say, you know what? And this is another one of my pet peeves. And it might sound like I've got a lot of them right now, but busy to me, when people say I'm very busy right now, oh my gosh, so busy. Busy to me equals inefficient. Busy means you don't know how to control yourself. So let's change busy. So busy equals inefficient in our minds. So write that down. Busy, B-U-Z or B-U-S-Y. Wow, if I could spell, that'd be amazing. Equals inefficient. And I'm not going to spell that because if I couldn't even spell busy, we're going to have problems here. So, and then let's write down another one. Write it down. Engaged. Engaged is the opposite of busy. It's the better part of busy. And engaged equals abundant. When we talk about busy, that is scarcity mentality. Scarcity mentality is when everything has to be sold. Everything has to be done now. Everything gets to the point where, guess what? If I don't do this now, the world could end. But really, it's not like that. Busy equals inefficient. Engaged equals abundant. The last podcast, I had the amazing benefit to speak to Peter Docker. Peter Docker is Simon Sinek, Start With Why's right-hand man, and helped us with Find Your Why. He's one of the co-authors of Find Your Why. And guess what? When I was interviewing him on the podcast, I sat there and I talked to him and I said, well, you're going to do this, this, and this. And he goes, well, BD, you know what? That's close to right. So actually he corrected me. It was awesome. And I felt so privileged to be able to actually say, you know what? You're actually right. I cannot force anybody to have a good day. I cannot force a client to believe the way I want to. I cannot make sure that one of my employees thinks the exact way I do. But what Peter said is, I need to clear a path for success. I need to clear a space in my life or in their day so that they can feel like what they're going to do is successful. So what are you doing in your day that clears a space for success? It's a charitable time of year. It's kind of Christmas time right now. If you're listening to this later on, I'm sorry, but it's Christmas time right now, but you can do the same thing. Have you ever heard of a swear jar? A swear jar, if you haven't, is where you have a little pot, or sometimes for some people, a big, huge vat where you place a certain amount of money, whether it's a penny, a quarter, a pound, something, into the pot every time you say a bad word. Well, guess what? For the next 30 days, what I want you to do is I want you to have a swear jar, and the swear word is busy and yes. Busy, when you're creating too much busyness and somebody says, how are you doing? And you go, I'm busy, can't do that. And the other swear word is yes. And yes is, if you say yes to something you shouldn't have, I want you to put an amount of money in that swear jar. And that swear jar is on yes and busy. So then I want you to give that to your favorite charity. I want you to make sure that it's charitable. Hopefully, you won't be giving them any money, and you could just write a check anyways because of all the profits you're going to have. But if you don't, and you have that swear jar, busy and yes, saying yes to things you don't need to, you're going to put some money in there. Because guess what? Not only is it there and you're going to put it in, and every time you do, you're going to measure the rubbish that you're doing for people that you shouldn't be doing. And when you say busy, you're going to step back and say, you know what? Busy equals inefficient. So let's get there. Here's the 3 things. We love 3 things on GSR, on Grow, Sell, and Retire. I want to tell you, here's the 3 things we need to do. So write these down. They'll be in the show notes, but write these down. Set up 1 hour each day of your week to do one thing that will help you sell more or engage clients more or reduce your efforts. So 1 hour each day of the week between this and the next podcast. So that's only 5 business days or 7 days if you're really, really keen. But 7 days, I want you to set up 1 hour each day. So this is time blocking at its simplest. 1 hour of each day of each week that you're doing between this and the next podcast you listen to. Don't be lazy and wait 2 weeks, 3 weeks between each podcast. So get out there and do that. So one thing that will sell more, engage your clients more, or reduce your efforts. The next thing is, guess what? I've heard of this thing called meat napping. Meat napping, and that's M-E-E-T, not M-E-A-T. So it's not stealing meat from other people, but it's meat napping. And this is where, hey, guess what, Bill? Why don't you come over here, or Jane, come over to a meeting that we're going to have. We're going to sit here for 2 hours and waste your time, waste my time, and waste the time of the rest of the team. Meat napping is when you get called to meetings that are pointless. Have you ever been to one? I know you have. Think about it. In the last 2 weeks, have you been to a meeting that was pointless? Somebody just called it because they needed to get some time out. They didn't want to sit in their office anymore, and they wanted to tell people how smart, how brilliant, or how great their plan was, and you got stuck there. I want you to, instead of meat napping, I want you to have either 15 or 45-minute meetings. 15-minute meetings for the quick ones you have with your team. Have them standing up and have them only for 15 minutes. Keep strict to time. If you need to have another 15 minutes, set another meeting so you can set an agenda so you can come back. If you're meeting with new people, make it 45 minutes and keep it strict. If everything is going so well that you need to have another meeting, arrange it. But respect people's times. 15 minutes for team meetings, 45 minutes for new client meetings or things like that. Keep it simple. Keep it strict. Some of you are going to say, well, I can't do that because of this, and I can't do that because of that. 15 and 45. Make sure you make it happen. Now, here's the hard one. This is a little bit of self-reflection. This is a little bit of opening yourself up. why don't you ask your staff, this is number 3, ask your staff and clients, what one thing could I do or could you do to make their relationship with you more profitable, more fun, or more engaging over the next 12 months? What one thing could you do to your staff or your clients, and actually the more people you ask, the better off your year is going to be, to make your relationship and your financial engagement with them more fun, more profitable, and more engaging over the next 12 months? There are so many things that you can do. So that's 1, 2, and 3. So many things that you can do to make sure that you have a much better year, the year that's coming, than the year that you've previously had. Some of you have had phenomenal years, but let's guess what? If you had a phenomenal year last year and you do a couple of these things or add them into your repertoire, think of how amazing your next year could be. 2018 and beyond could be phenomenal, but you need to do this. So let's look at this. What are the little things that you can do to make it better? So I've given you 3. Set up an hour each day for the next week to make sure you can sell more, engage your clients more, do things like that. Have 15 or 45-minute meetings and ask your staff or clients, what is one thing that you could do to change your relationship with them to make it more profitable or fun, things like that. So make sure you're writing it down. I'm looking forward to it. I've got a new book coming out. You're going to enjoy it. I've loved writing it so far. There's some great things. I've got some other podcasts. So if this is your first podcast, make sure you check out the one with Peter Docker. Make sure you check out the one with Shane Snow. There's some just amazing people that have had the privilege of bringing to you and their thoughts. So if you haven't had the time and you need somebody else to bump up your day, to give you some secrets for the lazy overachiever, or some plans or some things to do, if you want to be like me and be a lazy overachiever, then I want to make sure that you sit back, you take in what I've told you, and just make sure, smile, focus, and respect everybody else's time. This has been BD Dalton for the Grow, Sell, and Retire podcast. Looking forward to helping you. So if you want me to come out and speak to your event, if you want to learn more about us and go something on Space Camp and learn more about how we can help you over a 12-month period, come and check out bartdaltonconsulting.com. If you want to actually have an amazing time face-to-face with me, come to Madrid in May of 2018. We've got some great stuff going on there. So love to speak to you soon. This is BD Dalton for Grow, Sell, and Retire. Have a lovely day or a great evening.
Thanks for joining us on Grow, Sell, and Retire. For more information, tools, or to book one of our team members to work with your team, business, or to speak at your event or conference, visit bartdaltonconsulting.com or email contact@bartdaltonconsulting.com. Buy the book True Gravity on Amazon. If you want to work for the rest of your life, that is your business. If you don't, that is ours.